Top of the morning, everybody. Miss Angela stole my camera all weekend, so now you're back to dealing with my ugly mug. Chicken house? Not on the list this morning, unfortunately. We've had a few nights where it's got down in the 30s, and I have got to finish with my water and septic over here today and get all that rigged up and ready to go for winter, because I know one of these nights the freeze is going to sneak in on us and I'm not going to be ready, so I've got to get that done today and then slip right back in on this chicken house. We did spend the weekend acquiring some materials for it, so leg up on that. That sun's rough this morning, so it's kind of beating me up. So follow along over here. We're going to put a hard line on the sewer and the water over here. That way we can run a insulating wire on it and hopefully get that thing taken care of for the winter. So this is on the trailer side. We'll still have the pressure regulator in here, and then the connection here will be this female port. So the fittings here are like so, and that's going to turn me down to a 1/2 inch PEX pipe. And there's fitting number 1 ready to go for some PEX. And for my other connection here, I bought a pack of 5 of these little shark fittings from PEX. These pieces I ended up having to go to Amazon to get. I couldn't find them at my local hardware store. They looked at me like I was crazy when I told them what I was trying to do. It's just a water hose thread down to, I guess it's probably just a MPT or whatever. I don't know. But anywho, there you go. Now we're ready for 1/2 inch PEX over here. I had this old piece of PEX down at the cabin that I grabbed. I came over here and I flushed it out with the water hose to make sure it didn't have dirt daubers or anything like that in it. Everything was coming out clear and good on it. So we're just going to cut her to fit and stab her on. Now, let's see if I can do this one-handed. For anybody that's never messed with PEX before, I'm using these little copper compression rings. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but sliding that ring on the end of the pipe here. Said pipe slides on. Slide your compression ring down here in place. And then these handy dandy little tools right here, which I will not be able to do with one hand, just crimps the ring on the pipe. So see where it crimped it in. Being that this is just a temporary line, it's not going to get buried. It'll be heated above ground. I'm just kind of trying to keep it out of the way of my access to the black and gray water there. But other than that, we're just going to make the connection right here. And now for the dreaded leak test. That's a leak. Some days you're better off staying in bed, I guess. I pulled this apart at the pressure regulator. No leaks on my stuff, but apparently I put too much torque and managed to break my connection here. So now I've got to tear that apart to figure out what little plastic piece I broke in here that's going to cost me $300. We're going to try something. I had 2 of these female fittings that came from Amazon. So I used one, and now I had this other one left. I don't know if that's the MPT threads on that plastic or not. That's where this piece here that was leaking just came off of, that the water hose made the connection to with the screen. So basically just be replacing it with brass. Let's see. Alright, who's ready to try again? Hit the water. Anybody reckon maybe that was perhaps God's way of letting me know that this poor little part right here wasn't going to survive the winter and I needed to make a direct connection? I don't know. We eliminated the middleman out of it, it looks like, anyway. So we've got water back flowing to the house. That's a big plus. Alright, so she's still not leaking, which is good. This deal here that I took out is the outdoor shower. It just gave me an access hole to the plumbing area here. We're going to leave this open for just a little bit while we're making this other stuff work. and keep an eye on it. We may end up doing a little bit of insulating inside this pocket here before we cover it back up. We've got a pair of these guys right here, and it's just basically a heating wire. Plugs in 110, doesn't burn much power. It auto shuts on and off with the temperature, and then we're just gonna wrap it in some of this and plug her in and let her bump, and hopefully we keep water all winter, at least on the outside. It may freeze up underneath the house or something, but we'll worry about that later. I guarantee Miss Angie is just going to be ecstatic. I mean, look at this, two-tone gray. What's not to love? All right, while working and doing some thinking here, I've almost made it up to the faucet. I've got it all the way over to here. Here's where the plug will come out. There are a pair of GFIs right here that I can plug into. I think what I've decided to do here is, since that is actually the bottom of the bathroom cabinet right there, so I'll find a vent that I can buy somewhere that's that size, and then I can cut a hole out and put a vent in, and then I can insulate from that side with the hole cut out to pack insulation in all around this plumbing here. And then by having that vent in the bathroom, that will allow the heat from inside the house to come into this wall cavity and help keep it warm inside here also. All right, so that pretty much concludes the water line on the exterior here. I'll end up taking this water hose off and using the rest of this right here to seal up this other side. Once we're done using the hose for the winter, we got that hot wire run throughout within. We'll end up raising this off the ground so it's not sitting on the ground. We'll prop it up over here against this wall, plug-ins right there, and everything should be good to go. We'll do a little bit of that from the inside with the vent insulating inside that panel there, and I'll call the water line ready for winter now, and we got to do the septic. But will I do it today? Because it's supposed to be getting back hot again, like mid-80s for several days. All of a sudden it's supposed to be 15 degrees hotter. Our weatherman is about as predictable as a squirrel in the road. I can't trust him past 2 hours. So, starting on the sewer pipe here, I had to buy this top piece off of Amazon. It's actually threaded, but I just grabbed a 3-inch slip joint, and that converted me over to PVC. And I've got a 45, I think, to make the turn, and a couple of straight pipes and a few pieces to turn us down into the outlet there. I had to do a little trimming on the underpinning here, but we'll get that straightened back out and re-insulated around it where the old pipe and everything was. Got my connection made here, and all the way over. It's got a pretty decent little fall to it. It'll be all nice and sealed up. We've got another heat wire that we can put on that so that our septic don't freeze out here and get clogged up. So we'll wire this one up and insulate it, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen today because it's pretty stinking warm here in the sun. So we'll knock plumbing off the checklist real easy, and then I can hopefully get back on a chicken coop tomorrow.